Hello, good day friend. Welcome to the reduce array method in JavaScript tutorial. The use case for reduce method is to obtain a single value from an array. Reduce walks through the array element by element and at each step applies the callback function. It maintains the previous state and it can start from some initial value. If any initial value has not been provided, in that case it will start from index 0. Let us see the signature of the reduce method. It expects a required callback function, also an optional initial value. The signature of the callback function is it expects two required parameter, that is previous value and the current value, and current index as optional parameter, and another optional parameter is the array. The reduce method can be called with or without passing an initial value. If the reduce method is called without passing any initial value, in that case, during the first invocation of the callback function, the previous value will be set to the first element of the array. The current value will hold the second element and the current index would be 1 and array would be array. Now, so it starts iteration from the index 1. So it will run till the number of elements minus 1 time. So as there are 5 elements in the array, so the callback function will be invoked 4 times. Now if the reduce method is called with an initial value, like say 10, then that would be assigned to the previous value during the first invocation of the callback function. The current value would hold the value of the first element. The current index would be 0 and the array would be array. So for reduce with initial value, the number of invocation of callback function is equal to the number of elements in the array. So that is the difference between reduce with initial value and without initial value. For reduce method, there is one point to note, that is the readability trade-off. Sometimes reduce method can take operations which may appear a bit complex for new or someone junior. So that something needs to be taken care of. Now let us see the reduce method in action. So here I am in the editor and I would call the function. This is the callback function and I will not pass any initial value. Okay, and what I would do, I would return the previous value. This is the previous value and I would log those. So before I log those, let me run it and see the output is 1. Okay, now let me log at each of the steps what it's coming so that we can see. Okay, now this should be your index, this should be your element, and this is the previous value, and we'll see what exactly is coming. Yeah, so you see this is a 4 items array, but the function has been called 3 times. The reason because we didn't pass any initial value. So as we didn't pass any initial value, so the previous value during the first call was 1, the element was 2, that is the second item, and the index was 1. That's what as we discussed during the theory. Now if I pass 0, you will be seeing that the function will be called 4 times and p will start with 0. You see that p started at 0, it invoked, the function has been invoked 4 times and the index was at 0. Okay, now the reason because we are seeing 0 here, we need to add the element to it if we expect the summation out of it. Now you see the result is 10, which is the summation of all these items, and this is how it modified the previous value. So first time we pass 0 and this is the element, so 0 and 1, so the value is 1 and the 1 came as a previous value during the second invocation, and 1 plus 2 here 3, which is come as a previous value 3 during the third invocation, and likewise it has gone. So this is how reduce function works. Let me show you one more application of reduce function. So if we have an array like this, and that is an array nested inside an array, and we would like to flatten it, like if we were to achieve something like this. So this flattening of an array can be achieved also using a reduce function. So here we need to, the initial value should be an empty array, and all we want to do is concat each of the elements to that empty array. Okay, and when it will be, the internal element would come, like internal array would come as an element, during that time we would use this concat function to concat this array to the existing array, and that way it will flatten the structure. So if I run it, sorry, I made a mistake. Here you see this is, so what concat does is nothing but it actually concatenates to array. So I can show it to you. So if I have an array like this, and if I want to append an array to it, 0 0 0, and you see like that. So that's what I'm doing it here. Okay, so these are the way reduce function is used. Thank you for watching this.